Hey guys, it's Paul with Slasher Index once again to finally give you a review of Headless Eyes. Now the movie was made in 1971, but it wasn't given distribution until 1986 when Wizard picked it up. This is one of the last, if not the last, of the Wizard big boxes. This is number 91, and it's just not as good quality. It doesn't have that plastic film on it like a lot of the other Wizard big boxes. As Wizard started to decline, the quality in the boxes just kind of went down. But as you can see, the artwork is still pretty cool. Look at that. You have this girl who's there, and you have that eye there, that big eye staring right at you with all the nerve endings on it. An interesting thing about this box is that you have these two images on the back. Now, I watched the movie a couple times to do this review, and I don't remember those scenes in the movie at all. I guess they just put them together, the back of the box. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did not see those two scenes. Some of you guys might be thinking, well, that artwork looks strikingly familiar. It looks like the artwork of another movie, and you're right. It's almost exactly the same to the artwork for Full Moon Productions, The Killer Eye. Probably most of you guys know that Full Moon Pictures is ran by the same guy who ran Wizard Video, Charles Band. The cover of that artwork is different. The girl is in a different position on the Killer Eye, and the eye looks more mutated, but the city in the background is the same. I think the color scheme is a little different, but overall the style is pretty much the same. The movie was directed by a guy named Kent. I don't remember his last name, but he didn't go on to do much more stuff. I think he did some TV shows, but nothing worth mentioning. One person, the most successful person who was involved with this movie, is one of the producers, and the producer's name was Henry Packard, I believe, and he's known to be a major porno producer. He produced over like 300 porno movies, and when I was looking into his bio, even his two sons got into the porno industry, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, this movie came out in 1971, which was ahead of its time. You know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre didn't even come out yet, and it was only, what, maybe 5 years after Blood Feast. It's not gory, but it does show gore. It does have some gruesome scenes of eyeballs coming out, and you got some stabbings and stuff. The movie begins with our killer, right? And he's robbing this woman because as he claims, he's trying to get money for rent. But what happens is she wakes up, you know, they're struggling, and she finds the nearest thing to attack this guy with because, you know, she doesn't want to get mugged or whatever. And she pulls out a spoon and she gouges out his eye. He starts screaming, holds his eyes hanging out, and then the credits roll, and then we have Headless Eyes on the screen. Now we flash forward a couple years, and then we're brought into what looks like his apartment, and he's playing with eyeballs and doing like artistic things with eyeballs. He hears laughing, right? He hears laughing coming from outside or somewhere. So he goes down the stairs, and the next second he's like in a window front where these two people are looking at him. And I'm just thinking, what the hell? I thought we were in an apartment, and now he's in a window front. And it's just really strange. And it's just like, because he's like an artist, and he has all his artwork displayed in this front window because he also runs a store downstairs. But you don't know that until later in the movie. So he's in the window playing with an eyeball or whatever, and they just walk away. But after they walk away, he follows them home. But once the couple is at their home, he knocks on the door, and the couple that was making fun of him in the window lets him in. And I'm thinking, who will in their right mind let this guy into the house? First of all, they don't even know him. He was a creepy dude playing with eyeballs in the window of a storefront. Second of all, he has an eye patch on, he's balding, he's fat, he's a creepy looking dude. Third of all, he followed them home. It's like, after these three things, they don't think that this guy's creepy and that they shouldn't let him into their house. And what happens, he takes out a hammer and he starts killing them, and that's it. And then we just get shots of blood dripping off of them for like a minute or two, and we then cut to where he's walking throughout the city, and this girl approaches him saying, oh, what's wrong? You know, you got blood on you. And I'm just thinking to myself, why are all these people talking to this really creepy looking dude? He could have killed somebody. He had blood on him. He tells him that he got into a fight because someone didn't like his artwork or something like that. And she's like, you know what, come to my place and I'll take care of you. And this is a really young, pretty girl. And I'm thinking, you know, why are people just stupid in the 70s? I don't understand. Why does everyone want to, you know, befriend this guy? No wonder why they're dying. Well, she lets him into her apartment, and he finds out she's a prostitute, and he starts flipping out, runs to the kitchen. While he's running into the kitchen, she's just like oblivious. There's no emotion on her face at all. He takes out the knife, plunges it into her neck, and then takes out her eyeballs. So in the next scene, we're in front of this apartment building, right? And there's the whole group of people out in front of the building, and you have a news reporter talking to them about this woman who had just been murdered there. And pretty much the news reporter's there waiting for them to take the casket out of the dead woman. And it's just really weird because you're not usually put into the coffin until you're taken to like the funeral parlor or whatever. So I just thought it was really bizarre that they take the dead body out of the building in a coffin, which is another reason why I think you know, this movie must have been like a student film where this person was just stupid and thought that, you know, you're put into a coffin while you're still at the crime scene. It's just really weird. But among the crowd is the killer, Arthur. While they're talking about what happened or the death, he has a flashback of committing the actual crime. In the scene, he's running up the stairs into the rooftop of the building, attacks the girl and gouges out one of her eyes. Someone sees him, and he's not able to take the other eye out, so he runs away. We get a scene where I think he's walking down the street once again, and he sees a really pretty girl, and he follows her into a building, and we realize she's just an actress trying to get a job, and he follows her out of the building, and she suspects that he's following her. Once she leaves the building, she runs to her boyfriend in a car, and once the girl leaves in the car, he goes back to the office building, sneaks into the office to get the girl's address, because he, you know, is a pretty girl, so he wants to know where she lives so he can go after her. And while he's doing that whole thing, trying to get the address from the file cabinet, the secretary walks in. He freaks out, she freaks out, and he strangles her with her own pearls. And after he strangles her, he takes out this little pouch. I'm like, oh gosh, this is so dramatic. He has this little velvet pouch or something, and he takes out a spoon. He's like, you know what this is? This is a spoon. This is a spoon. And he starts scooping out her eyes. It's just silly and ridiculous. But another thing happens in the movie where I guess we're trying to see a more sensitive side to this killer. And it's where this young art student girl comes in. And she says, I love your art. And I mean, all of his art is just like eyeballs on strings and eyeballs and ice cubes, so I don't really see what she sees in it. She says she loves his art and that she wants to spend time with him. And once again, I'm thinking, why does everybody want to hang out with this really creepy dude? And they make plans to go walk to a lighthouse and talk about art and stuff. And you think he's going to kill the girl, but he really doesn't. They just talk about art, and it seems like that's the only person he really bonds with in the movie. But we only see the girl in like 1 or 2 scenes. You know, she doesn't really play a big role in the movie. But we finally get to the point where he has that address. Remember, he got the address from the office building? He actually uses that address towards the end of the movie to find the girl that he was following around, and she leaves her apartment. He's on her trail, and she starts running from him. And, you know, there's this little chase throughout the city where they're, you know, they're running away from each other through the street, blah, 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 and they somehow end up in, like, you know, a meat refrigerator building or whatever, where they store meat. He finally gets the girl in, like, a meat closet, right? And they're both locked in there. He strangles the girl, scoops out his eyeballs, and he's all excited. What happens? He gets locked into the freezer. He can't get out. The next morning, the workers arrive at the freezer, and they open it up, and you see the frozen killer there holding the eyeballs, and that's the end of the movie. We don't get any additional credits. We don't get anything. It just ends like that. The movie itself feels a lot like, maybe like a student film. It just feels very amateurish between the style of the cuts and how it was edited together. The print seems a little scratchy, but overall the film has a very grindhouse feel to it, and maybe because it seems like it was shot in like 16mm, but you know, you would think that would be awesome, really retro, but it's really not. It's not nostalgic at all. It's a really lame movie. It's ridiculous. You might be able to get a few laughs out of it the first time, but after that I don't think you could really enjoy it. I watched it 4 times just because I kept doing this review over and over again, and it just wasn't coming out right, and this one might not even come out as good, but the more I watched it, the more I saw the flaws in this movie, and it just gets worse each time. So it's not one of those movies you can watch over and over again and keep laughing at it. Maybe some of you can. I can't. It's just really poorly put together. There's no real arc in the story. They try to put an arc in the story, but you get characters that we only see once. Would I recommend this movie? I would recommend you guys watching it once, maybe. That's about it. It's not really that entertaining. I mean, maybe for a few laughs the first time, but like I said, that's it. But if you're a video collector, definitely get it. Not for the movie, but for the video. For the video itself, the box is awesome. It's a big box, as you can see. Number 91, and it's Wizard Video. Can't go wrong. Look at the artwork. Brilliant, right? So, yeah, that's me with SlasherIndex.com. Look forward to my other reviews. Look forward to All Good Night, and what's another one? New Year's Evil. 2 of those that I've been wanting to do for a while, even though that season's over. But that's it, so have a good night.